All right, it's Thursday, Friday tomorrow. Awesome. Have a great weekend, all that good stuff. Real quick, we're doing absolute value equations. So before we get started, you need to know what absolute value is because I'm sure most of you didn't really get that lesson or really didn't pay attention in junior high, fifth grade, sixth grade when we talked about absolute value. So these are not parentheses. This is not this. That is not what that is. This is the absolute value symbols, which are straight up and down lines. It means, what is the absolute value of negative 4? Well, here's negative 4 right here. And what does absolute value stand for? It stands for how far away from 0 is it? Well, it is, we go 1, 2, 3, 4. It is 4 spaces from 0. So the absolute value of negative 4 equals 4. Well, let's look at 4. Pay attention up here. 4 is right here. What is the absolute value of 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. It is 4 spaces from 0. So the absolute value of negative 4 and 4 is 4. It's 4 spaces. Don't get in the habit of saying, oh, if it's negative, it's a positive number. Let's not look at that. It's not the reason why it's there. You need to understand the reason why it is, and then that helps you understand math. Why do we do what we do? Helps you understand. All right, 3. If I look at 3, here's 3. The absolute value of 3 is 1, 2, 3 spaces away. So the absolute value of 3 is 3 spaces from 0. Negative 3, 1, 2, 3 spaces. So the absolute value of negative 3 is 3 because it's 3 spaces. It's not that it just becomes positive. That's not the answer. The answer is that because that's how much or how far or what the distance is from the number to the number 0. Okay? That's why we have absolute value. So, do you notice that no matter whether we have 3 or negative 3, we have the answer? 3 is the absolute value of either 3 or negative 3, 2 answers. So, when we say that, and yesterday we did the same thing, I kind of did the lesson backwards yesterday on the video, but that's okay. If we look at this, there is nothing on the outside of the absolute value symbol on this side of the equation. Because tomorrow we're going to have something on the outside, we need to get rid of it first. But since we only have the absolute value equation on the left side of the equal sign, we can break this apart. And we can have x minus 4 equals 12, what it is. And then because we have 2 answers, one could be, or not 2 answers, but the answer 3 could be 3 or negative 3. Well, the answer 12 can be 12 or negative 12. So we need to say x minus 4 equals negative 12. So what it is, which is 12, and the opposite of what it is, which is negative 12. Everything on the inside stays the same. We keep that. So now we have 2 simple. You cannot distribute. There are no like terms. There's no extra variables. So add subtractable, yes we can. Since it's minus 4, we're going to add 4. Our 4's are gone. We're left with x on that side, and 12 plus 4 is 16. Our first answer is 16. That's a horrible bracket. There we go. We don't use parentheses. We use brackets or braces because they're not a coordinate point. So on this side, we're going to do the same thing. Cannot distribute, cannot combine like terms, no extra variable, but we can't add or subtract. So we're going to add 4 to both sides of the equation. Our opposite operations are gone. We're left with x. And negative 12 plus 4 happens to be negative 8. So there's a bracket, there's a bracket and a brace. Either one of them, but use one or the other. So if you use the braces, use the brace. If you use brackets, use brackets. I know the brackets are a little tough to do, so braces are fine. But do not do parentheses like you do for distribute. Oh, by the way, we added, subtracted. There's nothing to divide. You could divide 1 if you wanted to, but don't. All right. Is there anything on the outside of the absolute values? No, there isn't. So we can go ahead and split this apart. The reason I say that is because we are going to have some where you're going to have to get rid of something. So we're going to split it apart. We're going to use 9x, what's on the inside, equals, and what it is, or what it equals. And then we're going to do with the opposite of what it equals. So 9x equals negative 9. Why did we do that? Because remember when we did the 3, we did 3 here. Our answer was 3. that means that it could be -3 or 3, which is 2. So we need to do that. So what do we do? This we cannot distribute, cannot combine like terms, cannot. There is no extra variable. There's nothing added or subtracted to the variable, but we can multiply or divide. Well, it happens to be the 9. So let's divide by 9. Our opposite operations are gone. 9 divided by 9 is 1. So our first answer is 1. Over here, same thing. Cannot distribute, cannot combine like terms, no extra variable. Nothing added or subtracted, but there is something multiplied or divided. So since it's times 9, we're going to divide by 9. Our 9's are gone. And -9 divided by 9 is -1. So our two answers are 1 and -1. I can put 1 in here. So if I change that x to a 1, that's 9 times 1, which is 9. The absolute value of 9 is 9. 9 does equal 9. Well, I can also put -1 in there. 9 times -1 is -9. The absolute value of -9 is 9. 9 equals 9. That's why we have two answers. All right. Do we have anything on the outside? No, we don't, so we can split this apart. Again, tomorrow we're gonna have stuff on the outside. So we're gonna do n divided by 7 equals 3, just like it sits without the absolute values. And then we drop the absolute values on this one, but we're gonna do its opposite, which is -3. So we have n, okay, we can't distribute, can't combine like terms. I'm not gonna go through all that. You know what to do, it's on your sheet, you should be able to do it. But I do see that I have it divided by 7. So the opposite divided by 7 is multiply by 7. So our multiply and divide by 7, our opposite operations are gone. N equals 3 times 7 is 21. So our first answer is 21. Same thing here, we're going to multiply by 7 because we're dividing by 7. Our opposite operations are gone, our times and divide. And -3 times 7 is -21. Whoops. And I did exactly what I told you not to do. Don't put a parenthesis there. Got to put a bracket. All right, so 20 and 21. If I put that up there and I put 20 in here for n, 21. 21 divided by 7 is 3. Absolute value of 3 is 3. It works. -21 divided by 7 is -3. The absolute value of -3 is 3. It works. All right, nothing on the outside of the absolute value symbols, so we can go ahead and break it apart. 2 plus x equals 11, just like it sits. Now we need to do the opposite of that one. 2 plus x equals -11. Well, can't distribute, can't combine like terms, no extra variable, we can't add or subtract. This is +2, we're going to subtract 2. Whoops, went too far there. Opposite operations are gone, we're left with x equals 11 minus 2 is 9. Now, don't go, oh, the last two, it was just a negative of the one. No, that's not going to happen here. Again, over here, we're going to subtract 2 from both sides of the equation. And as you note here, -11 minus 2 is -13. It is not the same. So make sure you do it on both sides. Just don't go, it's the opposite. Doesn't work. By the way, if I put 9 in here, 2 plus 9 is 11. Absolute value of 11 is 11. -13, so 2 plus -13 is -11. The absolute value of -11 is 11. So that's how that works. We don't have time for you to start checking your answers on these. I know we should, but we are running very short on time with this COVID year, so we need to keep going. I'm going to go ahead and do a few more. If you've got this, go on ahead and do it. But if you haven't got it, I'm going to do 2 more for you. Just make sure you check these so you know that you have them correct. All right, nothing on the outside of the absolute value symbol, so we're going to drop them. K plus 8 equals 18. But then since we dropped them, we've got to do the other one of it, which is K plus 8 equals, and then the opposite of 18, which is -18. Can't distribute, can't combine like terms, no extra variable. We can't add or subtract. So we're going to subtract 8 from both sides of the equation. K equals -8 sorry, 18 minus 8 is 10. Our first answer is 10. Subtract 8. Both sides of the equation, our opposite operations are gone. K equals negative 18 minus 8 is negative 26. So you have two answers. Again, I could go through that and say, you know, put the 10 in there, right? 10 plus 8 is 18. Absolute value of 18 is 18. Negative 26 plus 8 is negative 18. The absolute value of negative 18 is 18. That's why there's two answers. All right, nothing on the outside of the absolute value symbol, on this side of the equal sign, so we're just going to break it apart. For V equals 4, what it is, and then the opposite of 4. 4 times V equals negative 4. Can't distribute, can't combine like terms, no extra variable, nothing added or subtracted, but we can multiply or divide. In this particular case, we're going to divide. So V, the opposite operations are gone. V equals 1. And the same thing over here, divide by 4. Whatever you do over here, you're going to do over here, except the answer is going to be different. Opposite operations are gone. We're left with the V, and negative 4 divided by 4 is negative 1. By the way, for some of you, because you've been turning these in, if you're not putting your symbols in here, your circles, your lines, all that, you're going to lose points. Plain and simple. I want you to do it the way I showed you so that I know what you're doing. All right, there you go. Have at it. Have a good day. See you tomorrow.